morning, Tiara. Welcome to the Tuesday morning cup of coffee. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you all for joining. It is Tuesday morning, and I am Mary May, your leadership strategist, and I am ready to pour into you this morning with a quick drive-by leadership nugget. Because before you make any decision, make a cup of coffee or a tea. I have my tea, so I'm ready to chat about some nuggets. Let me get some of this tea. So it's Tuesday. It is Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Happy transformation season. It's always transformation season when you decide to choose you and you activate what is necessary to make those decisions and you set your goals with intention. So, what is it that you have to let go of in order for you to be able to successfully level up? And my goal is that if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling slow motion and invisible, it won't be on my watch if you choose to take that drive, take that dive to say, okay, you know what? I am ready to have the transformation season that is necessary for me. So my goal for this space, where this conversation today, is understanding the intersections of your leadership. What is impacting your strategy? What is impacting your strategy as a leader? And what are some of the intersections of your leadership, your voice, your space, and how it is that you show up? Intersection. So when you hear the word intersection, you should think about what are some competing agendas? What's crossing the pathways of my ability to be able to level up in leadership, and what's impacting my strategy? So I'm going to dive in and give you some quick examples and tips of what some of those intersections that actually put you in handcuffs or have you limited, have you where you feel as if you are unable to level up the way that you want to. And when we speak of level up, your transformation, your footprint on how it is that you want your position, your promotion, your integrity, how it is that people see you, and your performance and productivity. All of those things is a matter of a transformation, but it's also all of those things that if you don't have the appropriate vision that's not clear with the goals and intention, your accountability to your growth is going to be challenged. And so want to kind of dive into that so you can get what it is that you need for whatever your promotion is in life that you're trying to get leveled up to. So I want to welcome you to this space live. I appreciate you in this drive-by early in the morning as you set your intentions for your day, for stopping by and joining this conversation. If you are catching on the replay, I have love for you as well. Please let me know that you're here, and I'll definitely give you some feedback. Engagement is welcome as we go through the nuggets this strategy that is planned for today. And I'm gonna jump right on into it. So again, the focus nugget for today is understanding the intersections of your leadership and what's impacting your strategy. Now, depending on where you sit in the world of your leadership, your professionalism, and all of that, you may have heard of the bigger word intersectionality. And that could play a part in this conversation, but that's a little big for especially early in the morning. But I just want to talk about intersections. So things that cross paths, things that impact your decision making, your activation, and how it is that you are moving forward. And so the thing is that I would love to ask you, are you wearing a mask in your day-to-day life? And is the mask a little tilted? Is it straight on? Is it, sometimes thrown off? Are you hiding in plain sight such that the promotion that awaits you is unable to kind of see you because you're not clear in your goals? You're not clear in your direction. You said what it is that you want. However, are you truly, truly standing in your authority of being able to see what it is that you like. Seeing what you want and getting to what you want is two different things. And the getting to it, we usually have a lot of distractions. It could be our day-to-day schedule. It could be our partner not necessarily in alignment with what direction that we're going. We could be on our change of million version and 50. So it's like, when do we make that decision to understand that yes, we have this goal. Yes, we know where our mark is that we want to be in 30 days, in 60 days, in 6 months. However, are you truly clear on what it's going to take that's going to get there? Or are you dancing around, wearing a mask, and hiding in plain sight? And so I want you to think about some of the personal intersections that taint your reality, that taints your ability to kind of release those handcuffs that's in your mind, that's in your strategy, that kind of holds you in a holding place where you're sitting at the traffic light and you're at the yellow, you're at pause, trying to make that decision. You're not necessarily at the red light where you just stopped and paralyzed and can't do anything, or maybe you are. And then you're not at green because for some reason you are questioning, do you have permission to move forward? So the thing about it is that we're always negotiating, where do we have space, where do we have permission to kind of show our skills and show ourselves unapologetically. But then it's like we might hide behind the curtain that makes us feel comfortable. And if that curtain makes us feel comfortable, then you can't grow in comfort. So it's like, are you okay with hiding in plain sight? Are you okay with that? Let me go through a couple of things on what makes those things happen. What makes that scarcity? What makes those the thought process of how it is that you're pulling the curtain back, or if you're okay with hiding in plain sight. So when we grow up, we have a variety of different things that we experience, and we don't recognize the residue of how it transforms, how it pours into us. And we're sitting around waiting on someone to kind of rescue us, or we're kind of sitting waiting on a perfect moment, the perfect situation, and we're looking around waiting. Like, I know they see me. I know that they are, going to pick me as that next opportunity for leveling up and getting to the promotion that I want. But the thing is that you're sitting in a meeting about the meeting, and you're like, okay, how many times are we going to talk about this? Don't they see me? Inside your mind, you may be screaming, why do they keep passing me over? Why am I not being selected for this particular promotion? What is actually happening, or what has happened that's holding me back? So in those previous lived experiences, did you have fears that you don't face? Like, did you have a promotion review or a productivity review, or somebody gave you a comment that said you were not, that you internalized feeling fearful that, okay, I'm not going to deal with this, because if I don't deal with this, then it's just going to go away, or I'm just going to change where I'm sitting and go to a new establishment, and that fear is not going to be relevant because the person that I'm looking around to help me is going to be a different person, and they're definitely going to see me. The thing about it is that how you internalize whatever that fear is, whatever that thing is that makes you doubt and question your ability, is the thing that's going to keep pausing you and not allowing you to kind of see what it is that you need to kind of make that 2 millimeter shift, because fear is driving your motivation. Fear is, good morning. Fear is driving your challenges in regards to how it is that you are choosing to live or choosing not to live. So it's like, if you want something different, you really have to begin to move around what is paralyzing you through what you fear. And when let me break it down just a little bit more. Did someone tell you that you will never amount to anything? Did someone tell you that you will never have XYZ promotion because you don't have this credential? Did someone tell you that you don't have the authority to be in a certain place? So is the fear that you are honoring by not moving forward and hiding in plain sight, is that fear truly yours, or was it given to you and then you are riding through the assignment and saying, okay, I'm going to ride through this assignment because this is what has always been? But if it has always been, when are you going to change that narrative? And then if you feel that, okay, well, they always overlook me, and so it's the scarcity mindset. How do you look at your value? Is your value measured by trading time for dollars? Meaning, oh, well, this particular day, I am only giving them so much energy or so much of my productivity mind to do what it is that I need to do in the workplace because they're only paying me XYZ. The scarcity mindset of how you think about your value, your trading time for dollars, is something that is a social construct. We're not going to dive into that part, but it's a social construct that has been poured into you to believe that you are less than, or that you don't have to have the highest value in something that you are seeking and striving for. And because you work from that position, people continue to pass you over because that's the energy that you put off. Yes, I would like to have a promotion, but if you don't see me, I'm going to be perfectly content just doing the bare minimum. The bare minimum means that you are trading time for dollars versus making sure that your integrity of your role, the integrity of your skill set is ready and is showing itself available for that level up, opportunity. And you're not thinking less than. You're not saying, oh, well, I'm gonna just do the bare minimum today. I'm gonna do the bare minimum all week because they made me mad and I don't feel like I can go and have a great conversation with them, because that goes into confronting your fears. So it's like, where do you begin to make that decision and that discernment where you have the discipline to be able to separate what is your personal emotions? We talked about that last week. That is driving your ability to drive you out of a promotion, drive you away from where it is that you want your next contract, your next opportunity to lie in front of you. Your scarcity mindset comes from what your positioning may have been in your family. So generally, were you able to negotiate? Were you able to ask for things that was like outside of the box thinking with that bigger thought when you were a younger person? And how does that give you permission that when you are confronted with these strong personalities that resemble previous people that you have worked with, lived with, grew up with, what they poured, that residue, are you still activating and living from that scarcity mindset? And is that allowing you to stay stuck and stay in handcuffs because you haven't given yourself that permission to evolve and have that metamorphosis that you so desire in your career at this time? The metamorphosis is up to you, but you have to undo and break up with the conversations that are poured into your mind every time you go to execute. Every time you go to do something bigger and greater than what you are doing now, you have to understand what is that inner conversation that you're having, because that inner conversation is the noise that gives you fear, it gives you doubt, and you don't all the way trust your ability to be able to do what it is that is necessary, that's going to cause you to be not trading time for dollars, but making sure that you are dotting your I's and crossing your T's, if it's for the current employer that you're trying to level up for, or leveraging your skills that you already have so that you can position them and put them in front of the next opportunity that's going to give you that pay increase and give you everything it is that you need to execute. So when you think about who you were in a younger version of you, who you were in that unresolved, like if you have something unresolved from your last performance review, your last argument with your partner, your last disruptive, say, the weekend didn't quite go the way that you wanted. Those intersections, those things that overlap, you want to compartmentalize and believe and have value that it didn't happen here, so it doesn't matter here. However, you are the common denominator and you're carrying that energy from one space to the next. And the thing that's not allowing you to kind of execute to move forward is that you leave a lot of things on the table unresolved. And that unresolved version or that younger version of you, and when I'm speaking younger version could have been yesterday. Younger version could have been 3 months ago. Younger version could have also been you as a young person when you were taught to minimize the greatness that is poured inside of you. When you were taught to minimize that leveraging your skills, you just take what it is that's given to you versus commanding the authority that is going to give you that confidence and that conviction to know that you as a leader deserve more than what you have obtained. So when you think about how it is, the key steps for you to kind of execute and understand these intersections in your life is really call them to the table. Really kind of look at, if you were to take a moment, have a silent meditation, a silent review of what it is that really seems to be blocking you or seems to be challenging you at a particular time. Really have a quiet moment where you can reflect. What is not going well for myself? Where are my fears and my doubts? Pour it on a paper. Just write it all out. Figure out where is it that you doubt your capability to be able to really have this next level position. Why are you feeling that they are feeling that you're invisible and you are choosing to hide in plain sight? Like, where does that come from? Dump all of that stuff out. Look at the barriers. Where were you taught to minimize or be less than or trade time for your skill set versus understanding that those barriers, those that personal versus professional, which is also that perception versus reality, how you see that is very, very different. And how you understand how that personal versus professional challenges, disruptions, the things that interrupt your daily schedule, how you see and live in those everyday decisions, everyday moments, your choice to not pay attention and process through those things gives it that it can show up at any time. You could be at that conference table putting down all of your wonderful skills as a leader, and bam, somebody asks you a question and it triggers you to think about, I'm not supposed to be here. I wasn't supposed to be presenting for this next big contract or this next big promotion or this project, whatever it is. You begin to undo everything that you have leveraged your skills and everything that you are supposed to be there for. And so if that is you, like, that would fall directly into when you see my content that says the daily divorce of self, that hashtag. What are you allowing to drive your motivation? Because the thing that you're allowing to drive your motivation is also the same thing that may be paralyzing your ability to move forward. And when you begin to know your value, when you begin to understand your time for how it is that you kind of activate and move in certain places, the conversations of authority with your superiors, the conversation of authority with asking for that raise and promotion, the confidence and conviction that you need to command and understand that you are leveraging your skills. You don't need an additional certificate. You don't need any additional credentials. You have what it takes. When you begin to understand how you can do that and negotiate it confidently, your value for your time, your value for your vision, and your ability to do that begins to open up more um so many more opportunities that's going to grant you what it is that you desire. And so that strategy and planning, you would now have the ability as well as the toolkit to know that if in fact when you were, say, growing up and you all had to kind of make things work and spread things thin, you are no longer in that place where you have to make things work and spread them thin. You are now in a position that you can command understanding not only of what the task is, but what your role and how your puzzle pieces fit into that naturally. And when you know your puzzle piece, when you know that strategy of how you can do that planning appropriately, you are no longer allowing what you were fearful of or doubtful of to be the driver. You are no longer allowing the personal barriers of your partner not valuing or believing that you were going to follow through on this task this time, or your children having last minute things that they tell you that they need to do, and it's kind of impacting the time that you had set aside, or you being at the workplace and you were working on a certain project and an emergency erupts. How do you shift and make those different things? All of these steps, all of these moments, all of these intersections cause you to have a reset. And when you have to have a reset, you have to learn how to break that code so that you could break that ceiling and stand in your authority. Let's say that again. You have to understand that these inconvenient yet timely, untimely interruptions that intersect with what your plan was for today, because you may have your to-do list and things that you're going to go through. Those things are a test to see how do you reset, how do you maintain focus, and how do you face the fears, face the disruption, face what is not serving you well, and create a new strategy that you not only take care of the intersection that is interrupting how you're moving forward, but you're also able to make a strategy and plan it out that you get all things done without any ripples to the situation. So it's like you got to break the code so that you could break the ceiling. The ceiling is what you believe your limitations are or lack of expectations, so that you can elevate and stand in your authority. In the absence of truly doing that, you may not understand that the code is within your integrity. The code is within how you activate and move forward. So if you are not functioning with integrity, if you haven't confronted what those intersections that seem to just strategically come into play at the wrong time, really, they may be coming in at the wrong time from a human aspect, but realize what they may be protecting you from, or what they may be preparing you from. Is it an inconvenience? It's an inconvenience to stay comfortable. It's an inconvenience to not know that you are more than deserving when it comes to understanding what skill set that you already have, and that you don't have to wait for somebody to come and check on you. You don't have to wait for that perfect moment, that perfect situation, and that you're not going to no longer be hiding in plain sight. So if you're hiding in plain sight, how can you be positioning yourself for that opportunity that's going to have you in that leveled up, whatever that footprint looks like for you? Because when I say survivor to CEO, and that being one of the hashtags, CEO may not be your destination. And that's not necessarily what I mean with that hashtag. What I mean when I say survivor to CEO, what curtains are you willing to pull back, dive into very briefly, and understand how it's impacting your ability with the intersection of you being able to move and level up? So we revisit and review like what's positioning your intersections, what's positioning your promotion. You're going to look at and dive into your fears and doubt. You're going to look at and understand that you can't compartmentalize personal from professional and believe that those intersections, those calls that come through the day, the interruption in your morning as you were getting ready, or in the evening that you had set aside different time, you're going to understand those things a little bit differently, because you're going to write them all out, and then you're going to be able to figure out the strategy on how to navigate, reposition yourself, and understand what the theme or who the triggers really are. The trigger can sometimes be people who are no longer living. However, they have influence over how it is that we stand in our authority. So, and then looking at, are you trading time for dollars? Is your value a dollar amount? Or are you a full package that your time and integrity um, does not quantify how much you're going to do for that day? And if that scarcity being less than mindset is a reality for you, then we have to change that narrative. We need to have a conversation, because you did not just wake up, roll over, and get to this level of leadership without any grooming and preparation. And without that grooming and preparation and investments that you have done at a variety of different levels. So the strategy that you would be able to secure, should you decide that a leadership strategist that provides coaching, that provides, the support of helping you move that curtain and getting out of the way, is the best route for you, then you will have that side-by-side intentional space to have that productivity conversation that's going to pour into you what strategy that it is that you would benefit from, and not hiding in plain sight. So it's like, who owns the responsibility of you leveling up? Who owns the responsibility of you being productive in the workspace? You do. You own that responsibility. But if your internal self, your younger version of yourself, is the boss of you overall, then you're allowing those expectations, that lack of discipline, that daily divorce of self conversation that you have with yourself on a daily basis, moment by moment. There's no one coming to rescue you except for you making that clear decision and choice that it's time for you to do something different. And if you're no longer looking around like, well, who is coming to get me? Who is coming to pick me up and see that I have the skill set that they need? They're going to continue to overlook you until that energy that you give off shows the confidence, shows the conviction, shows that you know how to negotiate and leverage your skills, and shows you that you can do more than what it is that is just the bare minimum of trading that time for dollars. When you're trading that time for dollars, you're just doing the bare minimum. But I encourage you that if you want to do something that you have never done and live life the way that you have never lived, you have to become clear on your goals. You have to learn how to position yourself in that transformation season so that you can kind of reframe what your intentions are, what your position, and being able to set your purpose, your goals, and activate it so that you're living life on your own terms. And when I say living life on your own terms, it could be with your own business. It could be in your current positioning that you're in now. It could be in where it is that you see yourself going. But sometimes it takes us to kind of confront what those intersections, those inner voices, those inner challenges, the things that overlap. It causes us to look at those things and to eliminate the excuses and eliminate the procrastination, because all excuses and procrastination does is protect us, and it delays our activation or our execution. So it's like, how can you execute if you're constantly allowing the intersection, whatever is impacting you, whatever's changing your focus, changing your productivity, giving you a distraction of some sort that challenges your discipline and understanding how committed you are, can become a metaphor or a reality that is always an excuse on why you're unable to get to the next level. And I encourage you to be able to say, you know what? It's time for me to look at things a little bit differently. It's time for me to change my status, leveraging my skills accordingly, because the promotion is not only owed to me, I deserve it. I've earned it. If the system remains broken, you're not going to challenge it in a way that's going to help you to be able to move up. And realize the only person that will be coming to restore you, to rebuild you, to offer you that opportunity of a metamorphosis is you choosing to do something different and not waiting for that perfect moment, that perfect time. The perfect moment and the perfect time is when you make that decision to do something different and ensure that you are having a strategy that's going to give you the balance that's going to be key to your ability to move the needle from one point to the next. And so that is my leadership nugget for you on this Tuesday morning. My goal is always to kind of stay within a 20 to 30-minute window when I'm sharing these nuggets on a Tuesday morning, because my thought is you are preparing for the day. And I want to help shape your thought process, your leadership, and everything that you have going forward, that you have the ability to kind of see where it is that the residue, what challenges you may be experiencing, and are you allowing your leadership to be snatched from you? Or are you kind of standing in your authority to understand what it is that you would benefit from doing forward? So when you become snatched, you become to understand that you have a strategic ability to network and identify what your alliances are while transforming with collaborations that's going to help energize your professional development. And so if there's anything that you find that is a nugget that's helpful to you in this conversation, I look forward to having an opportunity to talk with you, having an opportunity to peel back those layers and see what leadership blueprint do you need to kind of deal with the intersections that are impacting your ability to lead unapologetically, position yourself and leveraging the skills that you already have, and recognizing that we outgrow roles and we outgrow assignments, but you have to be able to position yourself and be open to what it is that you need to unlearn. So I thank you for joining me for another Tuesday morning cup of coffee with or tea with your leadership strategist and leadership nuggets, myself, Mary May. If there's no thoughts, questions, or comments, I will look forward to seeing you next week or somewhere out here in these internet streets. If you're ready for your breakthrough, you know how to get in contact with me. Go ahead directly to my calendar and get on there right away at go.onehub.com/Mary1, or go check out the case study at workwithmarymay.com. I look forward to securing your leadership, securing your ability with conviction of leveling up and moving forward when you are ready. Take care.